It's getting dark and it's getting cold. Let's get these guys protected. This is always the indicator to me as to when it's starting to get cold. The white guavas start to turn a little bit purple. And check out some of this rust that's on this dragon fruit. Yeah, it's time to start getting these things protected. Got some of that mango. Got some of that avocado. Next year's gonna be great though. Alright, here's some of the arsenal, some of the ideas. Some protected, wet-proof extension cable. Got all sorts of it. These go into here. This is a electrical box. Again, protects from wetness. You got all these little divots in here. You can run the cable in here. Put like a surge protector or something in here. So I'm gonna give you a better look. So each one of these little divots, like you can put cables through here, like each one of these, and then it seals shut with the top on there. And it has a grommet, wraps around the cable. Put this guy on top, and now you're protected from the water. It locks. Pretty useful. And then you want to get some C9, C7 bulbs, like the Christmas lights, the old school incandescent ones. Now there's frost cloth, and then there's also plastic, 3 mil, 5 mil. The higher the mil, the thicker it is, the more protection, but I want to be able to let light get through. So this works and this works. This is more, you can't just have the fabric though. I've seen so many reviews where people have fabric and they're like, it's not doing anything. You got to have heat, and that's where these bulbs come in. These bulbs produce heat. They're not the LED ones, the incandescent. They produce, based on the size, they're going to produce a different amount of heat. And like these ones are bigger, they're going to produce more heat. I don't want these to necessarily touch the leaves of things and the flesh. That's why I have the smaller ones. They produce heat, and then all of the fabrics and plastics and whatnot will hold in the heat. And then you want some various clamps depending on your situation. There are so many different types. Spring clamps, like these ones are super durable. You got big guys like this for bigger areas, and then you have the vice grip type clamps. They work just like that. You put them around poles and things like that. But check out this plastic. This is this 5 mil? I forget, but you want something thick, and you want to have something that'll let light through. If you have it dark in there, it's going to affect your plants. To me, something like this, and in the wind here, I don't know. I think that this is kind of the best stuff, and this will keep in so much more heat than the fabric. It's kind of crazy. And then you just got to have your structure, right? You keep all your tropicals in one area, and then you just attach everything to it. All right, so I have the plastic at the very top. And now, like I said, like this stuff is not breathable. The cloth is, but at the very top, sometimes you gotta work by yourself and you gotta be ingenuitive. And this is how I'm pulling it across with the end of a broom handle. You gotta do what you gotta do. If you're working by yourself, you gotta think smarter. Now that I have that plastic ran, I'm just clamping it down. And like I said, depending on your setup, you're gonna need different size clamps. These are fairly cheap and you can find them used. When it comes to tropicals, in theory, most of them should be over 35 degrees. So I'm seeing it 37 out here. I'm getting everything protected beforehand so that I don't have to run out there. And better be safe than sorry. Make sure you read your labels. If they have a caution like this, that generally means it's going to be the right type of bulb. Be safe, people. And I also have some of this insulation. Sometimes I put it around my cloth pots, but do what you will. And this is kind of what we're looking like. This is one of my baby dragon fruits. These will not burn the flesh. Those bigger ones will. And this is one of those handy dandy. If you take a look, it's on the inside, and basically this rubber closes and this will compress over it, so it keeps it from getting wet. And just checking for functionality. There you go. And if you keep your hand over these bulbs, you can actually feel it get kind of warm. But this is just what I'm looking for. We're just trying to keep things a little bit warmer. This will add a couple degrees. Like I said, I don't really want to go under 35 or so. You just push this down, cover it up, and it is weatherproof. No water's getting in there. You gotta work with what you got. That Sylvia is beautiful right now. I don't know. This weather is so weird, but I'm loving this. This is that whole area. That's that cold avocado Mexicola I put over here. And I just want to protect a couple things. This might do good by itself. So I have these weird green frost cloths. I'm gonna have to do this in 2 parts. I don't know. I bought this and I didn't really pay attention when I bought it. I thought it was just one big. And all I'm trying to do is just get this covered. It's breathable, so air is going to get in here. I don't want to put unnecessary plastic over it. Dragon fruit's generally hardy. I probably don't even need to do this, but since it's so small, like so new, and I paid so much money for it, I want to do it anyway. And again, I saw so many reviews on these cloths that said that it wasn't protecting anything. It's because, so this will keep the snow and keep things off of the plant, but it also will hold in heat. Humans produce heat, plants do not produce heat. So we got to give it some sort of way to protect itself. Yeah, so check out how weird this is. So I'm gonna have to use 2 of them to kind of encapsule this dragon fruit. It is what it is. I have a ton of these. I'm just gonna make do with what I got. You gotta remember, heat rises, cold seeps. So if you get things warm at the bottom, it's gonna raise up and keep the top warm. Got bricks at the bottom; those will hold some heat from that sun, produce some heat, and it'll get trapped in here. What you doing? Yeah, that should work. Beautiful salvia. Man, I love gardening. Alright, let me just show you how this works. So I got a little electrical box, got a surge protector. This makes that indoor one outdoor. I have another one that I'm ordering that's gonna be smaller that'll fit. I don't have all this extra cable, but for now, it is what it is. This is running from the power outlet from my house. And then you just slip them in. Like theoretically on both sides, the in and out. You can do whatever way you want to do it, but I think you get the general idea. Yeah, I definitely gotta get this cable swapped out. This totes annoying. It's taking up so much space. But then you can just run each cable, each connection directly in here and plug it into the surge protector. Basically, the idea is I want to heat up the barrel, so I'm getting these bigger bulbs. I don't want to burn the leaves, so all of these bigger bulbs are going to heat up the water. The water gets warm, and then that heats up more of a surface area for all the plants, versus putting these directly on trying to get the ones on every tree, or burning them. You heat up the water heats up the area, mass. Just locks closed like this. Now we have a weatherproof box. I can just sit it anywhere I want. I'm not gonna cause any fires. So take a look here. Big bulbs wrapped around all of the barrels. And I just want to test everything and make sure that it's gonna work. But we want to heat rises, so keep the bottom warm. It's gonna keep the top warm. And let's just get this tested. Bada boom, bada bing. It's that simple. Let's just have you take a look. See, I don't want any of these big ones touching my plants. I don't want anything to burn. But I want it to be as close to the barrel as possible. We have smaller ones. These should be okay to be touching your plants without burning any of the leaves. The mangoes are one of the biggest babies when it comes to this stuff. But you just want to have everything compact in your little microclimate area, and we will have warmth. Just want to show you the difference. We're getting 44 degrees, so we're getting, about 5 degrees difference. It's 39 out, but we got into the areas up to 44. Look. Festive! Looking like Christmas up in there. Move some sensors around, but if you don't have any of these, get some. Like, these remote sensors, for me, are lifesavers. It tells you about the weather, like it's telling me it's gonna rain. You can have as many as you want. I have 2 different types, so I can get a good acclimation, a good idea. It's 35 degrees out. I think that's working. That's working. I periodically test the weather just to make sure. And this is what we're saying it is out here right now with the thermometer. I just make sure that this aligns to what my indoor thermometers are to make sure that the sensors are okay or correct. Now, I can't get out of this without showing some tech. I just want to show you these little guys. This is a switch that each one of these can be programmed. You can connect this to your Alexa or whatever. So yeah, I can remotely turn these on or off over internet utilizing this. If you want more details, let me know. And these little guys, you can basically route more power than if you don't have a lot of plugs. And these clamps come in so many shapes and sizes, guys, like in strengths. We got large, extra large, and mini. I don't know. I don't find this very difficult. I just want to just give you an idea. These are some things you can use. Do things your way. But if you have tropicals, you have to have something. You can't just not have anything. And we're in 9B. We're in the desert. We don't get many frost days. But let me just show you in here. We looking festive. Looking like Christmas up in here. And it's better to get things protected right away. The weather's so weird here. I'm gonna have to run out here and change stuff, but I don't find this to be a lot of work. Like, you just set it up once and then you can make it so that you don't have to keep coming out here to do things. That's why we have those timers. Those timers give it that extra boost. The protection itself will keep things pretty warm in general. We have those bricks in here. We have the water in here. That'll keep it warm. And then when it goes into frost mode, you can have these turn on. So many options. Protect your tropicals, guys. And you can ramp this up based on where you are. This isn't just a Vegas thing. This one's kind of long. Leave me a comment and let me know if you want any other details. Most importantly, get out here. Let's grow.